Welcome to a very special Thursday night edition of The Parents Lounge.
Hello.
I'm Jamie Kaler. I'm joined as always by my partner in crime, Mr. Jason Gowin.
James, thanks for having us.
As Dave Keckner would call us. I'm excited about tonight, and I'll tell you why. Because it's been kind of I would say in the world of parenting, this has been a bit of a hard week.
It's been a marathon of pain for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Every parent I've talked to, I posted something 2 days ago how I was just like, you can't help it. They always say it's unimaginable, but of course you can. That's why it's called Imagine. The
thing is, at this point, it's happened. It's hit us in the face. We're here, and as parents, it's been. My heart has been broken. I had a rough drop-off every day this week.
Yeah, we all did. Every parent I know, everyone I talked to, I posted that thing where I literally teared up. I came back from dropping my kids off, and I sat in my kid's bedroom, and
kudos on that. It summed up everything I had been thinking and feeling really, really well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Honestly, the outpouring of love was cathartic in a way. I just, I cried. I cried on camera, and I wasn't going to post it, but I was like, this is how I feel, man. I feel so sad about stuff. But
I saw it, and I told you that I called you immediately. I'm like, "Are you okay?"
You were the first call. It's funny, too, because I'm a crybaby. We talked about it. I watched Coda, and I bawled like a little. I mean, anything.
The occasional Lowe's commercial gets to you.
What's funny? That's my joke. Yeah, I know. It's like I said I was like a old musket rifle you see on the Antiques Roadshow. I just been ramrodded down with powder and emotions, and then these two little girls came into my life and lit a spark, and now boom, I cry at Lowe's commercials, which is true. I cried at that joke's totally real. There was a Christmas commercial where the kid comes home and builds the shed for his father, and I just remember I was like, oh my god, that's what and we've talked about it. Kids are, extensions of your nervous system. And so, yeah, everybody's emotional, and, it's a major event. And we're not going to get in any politics or anything. I mean, obviously.
No, that's not our way.
Not our way. It's not what we do. But I think the best answer is laughter. So we, of course, this week we have, tell people about what you did, because you came out. And we put together a live show, only really because you came out. We just said, well, let's do it live. And so we brought everyone.
Yeah, we had done a live show here that was, super fun. And it was my turn to come out west. And I got to stay at Casa de Mulligan, and I got to hang with you guys for a week. We did a lot of fun stuff. But the crowning achievement of it for sure was, the live show at Flappers. It was such a fun. We had, amazing people on stage with us. I'd never seen Kate Mulligan do stand-up, which was, super fun for me.
So it was super fun. And it honestly was, we've only done this thing virtually forever. So we did it really low key. My buddies run this club called Flappers, which is, if you're ever in Burbank, Jay Leno's there every week. Bill Burr, like, it's monsters. It's one of the best clubs, for me, and
hands down, yeah. I've seen it on TV a million times.
Yeah, everybody's there. So they have a little back room that's kind of this little eclectic, really tight back room that's super great. And so I asked him if we could do the podcast, and we brought Eddie Pence, Christine Lakin, and of course Kate Mulligan to do the show with us. And we did our own little version of the podcast where everybody did a few jokes, and then we talked, and then the audience got involved. It was crazy. It was kind of exactly the way we envisioned the show. And
yeah, it was like the exact original version of the show that we had wanted to do.
It was really kind of the first time we've ever done it. And it's funny because, we'll tell people later, but we of course are building something in the metaverse that you are building, and we're eventually going to do it with everybody's avatars. Parental avatars will come in, and we'll do it exactly.
And that's it's the stuff that we're going to be able to do in there is insane.
Yeah. And so Brian Hinnenkamp, Sean,
Luke Castillo,
a bunch of local people, some of our fans who are honestly more friends than anything, came to the show. And it was really like this crazy cathartic evening where we told some jokes, we riffed. The audience got involved, and then we all just went and had a drink in the bar, and it was
special. Even emotionally distant beard guy came.
That's right. I forgot. John Champion. John Champion.
John Champion. Yeah,
the best guy ever. He doesn't even have children, and he came.
But he laughed harder than anybody. I noticed. Like he was laughing pretty hard.
And the sets are great. Like we fool around a little at the top. We basically do a couple of jokes, and then we start bringing everybody out. Kate Mulligan has a great set. We chat with her. Christine Lakin pops in. Never had done stand up, right?
No, never done it before in her life. She's done like
Christine Lakin's very first stand up set. Really?
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
She was so good. She was so good.
She's just a natural performer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's a wonderful actress, and she wrote all this wonderful material about parenting and did it. And then we talk about vasectomy. There's a crazy vasectomy rant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy rants. And then Eddie Pence comes in and destroys. He's one of our favorites, and he tells the craziest story about his son and his son's
old brown eye.
His butthole. Yeah, his cinnamon ring, I guess, for the lack of a better term. His balloon knot, as we call it in the business. You never heard those?
No, I haven't.
I think I have to give credit to Jimmy Schubert. I think it's from a Jimmy Schubert rant. We had to have Schubert on here one time. And he was like, cinnamon ring. And I never forget. And balloon knot. Get in the balloon. I was like rolling laughing. So Eddie Pence does a set that is just blindingly funny. And then it gets really funny because all five of us,
just kind of freeforming it. It was awesome.
So we don't want to do too much time at the top. The show runs about 80 minutes. I don't know what else to say about it. It was super fun.
It really was. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's something a little different from us, but it was kind of what we originally envisioned this show to be,
and what it will be. And when we do more live stuff, if we ever get back out on the road and do stuff.
Well, we know that we are live in October for sure, and possibly also in September.
Right. We get 2 gigs in October, and I'm home alone with my children again. My wife's on the road, so yeah. It was really hard for her to be on the road. I felt so bad for her.
Right. I can't imagine not being able to hug them right now.
I was in a hotel Tuesday night, and I was trying to, I kept texting her going, and we talked on the phone. I was like, and we FaceTimed a lot, and I just felt bad because it's one of those, it's like the worst time to be away from your kids, to go like, ugh. Even tonight, Hannah had such a meltdown on the ride home. We were playing the quiet game, and I was keeping score. And when one spoke or something, and so it was 5-4. And at the very end, Hannah, the other one was pinching Hannah, and Hannah made a sound. And I go, that's it, 5-5. And she did not want to lose the game. And she literally had an insane tantrum in the car, just kicking. And I go, what? It was just a game. It's a game. And she was losing.
Well, she takes the quiet game seriously.
Maybe she's the next Michael Jordan. I don't know. But she had this meltdown. And so other weeks I would have just lost it on her and said, no TV, you're punished. But for some reason this week I was just like, I just held her. I picked her up and I carried her in. And you forget, you're dealing with this person, but at the end of the day, you're like, oh, that's right, she's 8 years old. And I was holding her, and she was like, I didn't want to lose. I go, I know you didn't want to lose. I didn't want to lose. I go, I get it. Just kept going. And I held her, just holding on to her, and then brought her, and she finally calmed down. But mold me, before Tuesday, which I'll go back to that guy eventually, but
yeah. I mean, there's a shelf life for how long we'll run at this, but even Dark Lord and I have been friends this week, and they are, I'm just holding on them, and I mean, I let them beat the absolute living fuck out of me tonight, and I just took it today.
Well, do you want to wait till Tuesday to talk about dropping them off at the?
I do, because I want some mom perspective. Yeah.
Just for everyone who's going to come back on Tuesday, every Tuesday we're live, 7 p.m. Pacific time here, and we talk about our kids' weeks and stuff. And you took the kids to preschool.
their first day of
first time at preschool, and we talked about. We'll all talk about the first time you dropped your kid off at preschool, and who cried harder, the kid or the dad. But yeah, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. So, but yeah, listen, this was obviously shot before Tuesday, and this national crisis that has happened and in the world of parenting. So I think everybody, sit back, pour a cocktail,
or 7.
Have a laugh. Let's laugh and go. And, we'll deal with making changes and doing everything we can to protect our kids as we go forward. But for tonight, just sit back, man, have a laugh. And
Enjoy it on us. It's the least we can do for you.
Yeah, honestly, that was kind of the reason we did this. We kind of put it up to go, all right, everyone needs just to cut loose and go, not think about heavy stuff for a few hours. So show's about 80 minutes. We're going to do the opening sequence, which will give you enough time to go maybe fill your cup. And then we'll see your comments, and we'll post them, I guess, and comment along.
Yeah, we'll post them. We'll comment along like we usually do. We just won't be able to talk to you directly like normal because it is pre-recorded.
So that's it. This is the Parents Lounge live from Flappers Comedy Club about 2 weeks ago, and starring Eddie Pence, Christine Lakin, Kate Mulligan, Jason Gowin, and myself, Jamie Kaler. So enjoy, and we'll see you live again on Tuesday. So hit it. Could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Hi, welcome to the Parents Lounge Live! I'm Jamie Kaler, Jason Gowin, my partner in crime. This is why we've never been this close, because we only do the show virtually. And so this is kind of the first time we're performing the show live. So we're going to...
seconds in and I've already lost an eye.
Yeah. So we are parents, like everybody else here, I think, except for that guy back there who thought Claire Kramer was showing up and she's not coming. So you're on your own pretty much. I have 2 children. I am in my 50s, and I'm too old to have kids, but I had them anyway, and so here we are. I want you guys to have fun tonight and laugh out loud, but honestly, if you just sat really quiet for the rest of the show, I think we both enjoy that as well.
Catch up on your TikToks.
Yeah, just catch up on TikToks, do whatever you gotta do. Having kids at my age is like getting a DUI just as you pull into your driveway. I thought I was home. No, you're under arrest, Jamie, and your punishment is bankruptcy, and you're going to be tired for the rest of your life. So have fun with that.
I have 3 children. My wife decided it was time. She caught a sale at Costco. There was a buy one get one free pregnancy, so we had twins. And the funny thing about twins that nobody tells you is that when the egg splits, so does the soul. So one of them only gets about half. My kids are trying to kill me. It's basically like living every day in Jurassic Park. They're like little raptors that attack all of the time.
I laugh because his kids are younger than mine. Mine are 1st and 3rd grade, and yours are
6 and 3.
So they're not even, one's in kindergarten, right?
Kindergarten, yeah.
And I tell them it gets better, right? It gets better as they get older.
Does it though? Because I've seen you almost weep.
Oh, it doesn't, but it's better not in a sense like it's better because there's only so much time left in life.
Less pants shitting.
I'm so much closer to death than you that it's better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, except there's the whole my kids are trying to murder me thing. So I never know.
I mean, I have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm going to be 58 this year. And here's the deal: if they wanted people my age to have kids, they would have made the directions on children's medicine in a much larger font. Is it just me, or is it 2 o'clock in the morning and you're like, right? Thank you. We're like, is this even in English? I can't tell. But luckily, they put a little cup on the top, so I just fill that, give it to the kid, and then I check to make sure they're breathing for the rest of the night. That's parenting 101, people. So it's really coming together for me.
I didn't even really want kids. I happened on accident, and oops, and all I really wanted was a monkey. I wanted a monkey. And I made a deal with my wife with witnesses in a public place, which actually, to me, makes it a legally binding contract. And the deal was that for every human child I provided her, that she would make sure that I got a pet monkey. And so because she had twins, I argue that I'm owed 2 monkeys. And it's been 5 years, or well...
There's no monkeys coming.
Yeah, no monkeys. There's no goddamn monkeys. There's none.
My wife told me she wanted to elope, and then we got a really expensive wedding that I paid for. They lie. Just get used to it. They lie a lot. They lie a lot.
A lot of love.
And she told me she loves sex, and that changed at all.
Weird. Mine said she didn't, and then yeah.
Well, you like a little cosplay, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that actually. So, I have a 5-year-old. The thing about 5-year-olds is sometimes there's a lack of a filter. And we went for a routine checkup to our pediatrician. And my pediatrician is the most knowledgeable, wonderful woman, and she looked my child straight in the eye and said, "Well, hello, Jace, how are you today?" My child looked back at her and without missing a beat said, "Last night, Mom dressed up as Catwoman. She sat on Dad's chest and she was scratching him, and then she said, meow." And I just went, oh, and the only thing I could think at that point is I'm going to just turn and read the eye chart. A, Q, was it a sailboat? Oh, hey, here's a wonderful pamphlet on Lyme disease I should probably check out. And all I'm thinking in my head is 3 things. Number 1, please, pediatrician, do not call me out on this. Second, I'm really going to need to get a lock for the door to the bat cave. And third, at 5 years old, if you sneak into your parents' room undetected in the middle of the night, and instead of your parents, there's Batman in a precarious situation, Catwoman seems to have the upper hand, and you're probably going to stick around to see how this turns out. Guaranteed, did not turn out how he thought it was going to, because that's how he ended up with twin brothers.
But good story about Catwoman.
I'm okay with it.
I mean, come on, it's like, was it Halle Berry or Michelle Pfeiffer?
It was strong Michelle Pfeiffer.
Strong Michelle Pfeiffer.
I was at work.
The best of all the Catwomans, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Who?
Wait,
Zoe Kravitz? Eartha Kitt over Michelle Pfeiffer? Listen.
For the characters, not for prom night.
No, sexually speaking, I'm not talking about anything else. If you're on Pornhub and they have a different audition, which one are you going to?
All versions are available. I mean, not that I know, but...
No, I hear. There's a deep... I mean, that's it. If you're doing deep fakes, don't waste your time. Go straight to Catwoman's and
I have.
And put it... Oh, they have? What?
Anne Hathaway for me.
Oh, you know what?
No. I don't agree.
I got a little thing for Anne Hathaway.
Do you?
Yeah, and here's what's really creepy. I like her from Brokeback Mountain. That's like for some reason she really turns me on at Brokeback Mountain. That's probably a good thing. But I like Anne Hathaway. I thought was great as Catwoman. Yeah, I think Michelle Pfeiffer in 2D is fantastic, but I think in real life she might be a tad underbuilt. Thank you, Carman. That's her chassis. What I'm saying is that if you're buffing it out to really get a nice polish on that chassis, I feel like there's just not enough. There's not enough fender to work with. Is that the best way?
That's agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Anne Hathaway's she's got some chassis.
Well, look, in my
Princess chassis.
It ended up with twins, so.
So obviously your seed runs deep.
I was at work and I received a well-placed and well-timed text message. I left work early. I honestly, I was so surprised I didn't get arrested on the way home just driving there. I was just like, yeah. Got there, it was live and in person, and oops.
I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say about it. I apologize for all of us. I mean, does anyone else have twins? Isn't it? Well, I would think if they gave you twins, it would be like the person who at the store goes, "Hey, which version do you like?" I'll take that one. I feel like it's your pick. You don't have to take them both. I think that was your fault. At the hospital, I think you pick one and leave.
No, it turns out I asked, and they do make you take both.
But it's like, I mean, maybe put one in storage.
Well, here's the thing.
And save it for like organs or something like that. Is that too dark today? Is it too dark? I've been captive for 2 years. I homeschooled kids for a year. I feel like one is the chosen one, and then the other one's the organ bank. Is that crazy talk?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So for me, it was like I didn't choose these children, and they were handed to me, and my wife insists that they're both mine. The problem with that is that all babies look like me. And so,
if you were ever on Maury Povich, you'd go, it's yours! It's everyone, they're all yours!
Dude, I look like the grown-up version of the little boy from Up. I mean, it's true.
I'm starting to look like Ed Asner a little bit, so I feel the older part of it. I can feel, everyone's like, oh, I'm starting to feel like a saddle from the 1850s. And I was like, oh, with all the sun and bourbon involved, it's starting to, yeah. Oh, thank you. Gettysburg's one of my favorite. I remember back then. It was a good time. I am so old to have kids that, here's how I know I'm too old to have kids, because I was watching Lethal Weapon maybe a month or two ago. Everyone know the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this, Danny Glover's character is, he keeps saying, I'm too old for this shit, and he's retiring from his lifelong career. I'm 8 years older than he is, just so we're all on the same page. I also know I'm too old to have kids because the other day I was watching Lethal Weapon.
Not even a reboot, huh?
No, that movie's from 1985.
Yeah.
It still holds up, even though he's got some problems. No. Apparently not. They canceled him, and then they were like, "Man, you're pretty good. Come on back. You can, you know what? You can make a movie."
He redeemed himself with the
Spacey's making a movie. Did you see that? Kevin Spacey's just got cast. Did you see that?
No.
He's back. I mean, 2-time Academy Award winner. At some point, you're like, all right, come on back. Listen, but this time, stop touching young men. Okay, I'll try the best I can.
But didn't he do the whole campaign as his character from House of Cards? He just that.
He did a video as the House of Cards guy, right? Did everyone see that?
No.
Out of nowhere, he came out with the character where he still does it. Sometimes if you just commit, I don't feel like his southern accent's that good, but he commits so hard that you go, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's spot on. I think a lot of times, you think that acting sometimes is just the commitment, because if that was me, I'd be like, come on guys, and I'd start laughing going, I can't fucking do a southern accent, what the fuck is I thinking about? But other people just commit so hard, you're like, maybe that's what people do sound like from Kansas, I don't know.
It's a real testament.
It is. My daughter Claire, we were running late because my daughter had soccer practice today, and she's in first grade, so we put her into soccer because this is the time to start getting those scholarships for college, right? They start early. So we randomly just picked. She got drafted on a team in AYSO. Anyone play AYSO? And she got drafted on a super group. It was like the Asia of soccer teams. Because I show up the first day and I watch these kids kick around, and there's 2 little girls, first graders, on her team that are freakishly good. They won the first game 15-0. And after the first quarter, they had to let the other team have an extra player, and in the fourth quarter, they let the other team have 2 players, still lost 15-0 to the team my daughter's on. My daughter didn't score a goal, but she came home, she's like, we kicked ass! So by the end of the season, they're undefeated. They're killing people every game. And she's like, one day in the car home, she's like, I'm never going to lose.
Oh, reality be a coming.
And I go, really? She goes, we're undefeated. I said, Yes, those other 2 girls on your team are super undefeated. I was like, you're never going to get this reference, Claire, but you are Turtle on Entourage. Just so you know, you're not Adrian Grenier. You're living in. He has a room for you, free. It's called a +1.
Is she even really Johnny Drama?
She's not even Johnny Drama. She's Turtle. But it takes like season 6 before they go, listen, we got to give this guy a career because he's the biggest loser on earth. And then he becomes a record promoter with fucking Adrian Grenier's money, right? And he goes, I'm producing records. Not really. He has no talent whatsoever, except he's a really good friend. And so at first I was kind of saying it as a negative to her, but in a way I was like, Turtle had a way better life. He never had to work. And I was like, you know what, Claire? Just be a really good friend to people, and you're going to have a fantastic life. That's a skill.
It's worked out pretty well for me.
Honestly? Oh.
Oh, you thought I meant you.
Oh. Awkward. We should start bringing out.
Show her, why not?
I mean, we should definitely bring out our other partner from the show, and honestly, the voice of reason and the mom extraordinaire, and it's her anniversary.
Yes, it is.
Her poor husband. We asked her. We said, "Hey, you want to do a show?" Jason's coming out. She goes, "That's my anniversary. I can't." Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty good. I think we can make that happen. So let's bring out our friend. She's from the Schmodown. I mean, the show kind of took off when we can't let it get to her head at all.
No.
But please welcome Kate Mulligan to the stage.
Are we consenting to this? We're consenting? Yeah. Can I get a yes?
Yes.
You're dirty, unprotected. I like it. I like it bareback.
You think, oh, you do?
Yeah.
You're about to be disappointed.
Oh, no. Oh, smart.
Just grab a hairnet from Dave's Hot Chicken.
It's, you know what, you wish. But you think there'd be leftovers for you at home. No, I practice safe stand-up, guys. I practice safe stand-up. Hello, Yoo-Hoo Room. I gotta tell you, it has been a dream of mine to come do stand-up in a really intimate setting where you can see directly in everyone's eyes when they're disappointed by your jokes. Good to my God contact with you, sir. Fantastic. Also, this room, I feel like it doubles, does it not double as a traffic court during the day, possibly? And in Easter, it says on the website, you can also rent it out for Last Supper reenactments. Also, I can see very clearly that none of you guys followed the dress code. It said very clearly on the sign to dress as if the Disney's Tiki Room was a mechanic. Thanks, guys. Just left me out there to die. I will tell you, tonight is my, the reason I'm wearing this actually is because it is my 10th anniversary. And I felt like this outfit might be my best chance that my husband wouldn't want to have sex with me.
To be fair, I think every guy has gotten drunk and banged a couch before.
Oh my God.
I might be mistaken, but I remember some soft couches back in the day.
Listen, so there's
It's like steamy patio furniture.
Yeah. Listen, there's still hope. There's still hope. No, the other truth is my husband, he is here tonight, so, and he loves to support me, so say woot if you're here, and if you love me, say woot, honey. Oh, we're fine, though. We're doing fine. No, I love him. He's great. He's great. We're going to be fine. Actually, the reason he is here is because 10 years ago tonight, we stood across an altar from each other, and he looked at me, and he'd written his own vows, and he said to me, I promise to be with you in sickness and in health, for better and for worse. And I do anticipate that worse will include having to watch you do stand-up at my expense on our 10th anniversary night in a traffic court. It's very prophetic, that one. But Dickie Murphy, actually stand up. Where are you, Dickie Murphy? There's my husband! Yeah! You guys, give him a
A lot of Murphys in this room.
Hello, Murphy.
Fucking Dickie Murphy and Sean Murphy's over here.
Yeah! I gotta tell you.
Come on, guy!
Yeah, now shut up, Dickie. Thank you. What are you doing? This isn't your moment, buddy. Unbelievable, this guy. No, actually, I'm just really glad you guys know who to look at for the rest of the set. Because I got some stuff coming up. It's funny, all my friends said, like, oh God, when you become a parent, it really changes your relationship with your significant other. And I have to say, like, we have not experienced that at all. Okay, we are doing great. You know, like, we both, like, you know, we have, like, an appreciation. Like, he's, like, amazed by my body. Like, he put sperm in it, I made a baby, and then I delivered that baby, you know? And I'm amazed by his body because he can take a simple cold and turn it into a 5-day reason not to co-parent. You know what I mean? We're both amazing in our own ways. But also, like, you know, it's been such a relief to finally both have our genitals on the outside of our body, you know? It's like, thank God, you know? That's a saggy labia joke. That's what that is. I delivered my first child and then sat down in the toilet and was shocked by how cold Cedars-Sinai kept their water. Frigid. Highly unprofessional of them. I also have to say that it's something that our relationship was always missing and no longer is like, we're finally the same weight. Lifelong dream, to be shorter than someone, but weigh the same as them. It's going great. We did actually, a couple years back, we had a health scare. And I know you know about health scares, but just to paint the picture, this is when I was still nursing my second son. And which he's 4, I still do. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm still nursing my son, so we had a moth infestation. So a moth infestation requires a lot of stuff. So there was one night that I happened to be up late, like taking care of the moths. I had to like freeze all of our clothes. I had to like, we have cedar closets. I had to like sand all the cedar closets. I had to watch my husband sleep. And basically the next day I woke up super early and I had to wake up and I had to nurse my son. And then I like ran my older son like in the running stroller to his preschool. And then I like ran him back up the hill. And I was just in time to nurse my kid again. And so nursing my kid and then him putting him down for his nap, and I come out of his bedroom and my husband's just standing in the hallway and I can see there's a look in his eye. And I'm like rolling the ancient scroll that is my titty back into my bra. And he says, "Hey, do you want to fool around?" And I was like, oh my God, it happened. He caught it. He caught can't read a roomitis. But we took him in and we got him diagnosed. He has a penis, so it's fine. I'm actually the mom of 2 boys, so penis is a big word in my family. Nothing's changed me as a mom, like becoming a mom to 2 boys. There's like the most beautiful sound. It's my son calling for me up the hallway. Mama, Mama, I'm touching my penis for some reason. I know the reason. I know the reason. It's not a good one. It's not a good one.
No, it's a good one.
It's a good one.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good reason.
It feels good.
But it was so hard. If you parented during the pandemic, shake your antidepressants. You guys, that was a joke because we take them in the morning. We wouldn't have a stand-up show at night. We take it in the morning.
It's the whiskey time.
It's the whiskey time.
Yeah, now it's whiskey
Yeah.
time.
I mix them.
You do? Oh, good. That's great for you. I think that's going to work out really well. I will say, I am still surprised to this day that if anything could bridge the political divide in this country, it wasn't parenting in a pandemic, especially amongst parents. So, full disclosure, I'm like a liberal or a Democrat or whichever party it is that thinks it's okay to tell everybody that you have to stay home, but then the governor gets to go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant. Which is that? Democrats? Okay, that's me. Great people. We're great people. But I have to imagine that if I were in a conservative part of the country, Florida's a bridge too far, but let's go Bakersfield, okay? And I'm like on a playground, and I hear a conservative mom saying to a friend, I had to homeschool my kindergartner in 2020. I have to imagine that my ears would perk up, and I would make my way across the wood chips, and I'd say, what did you just say? And she'd say, I parented my kindergartner in 2020. I homeschooled my kindergartner, and I would say, I homeschooled my kindergartner in 2020. And right before her eyes, my devil horns would melt into my head. And her forehead swastika would start to fade before my very eyes. And we would reach for each other. And we would embrace. It would be like that scene in Royal Tenenbaums, like she's Ben Stiller saying like, I had a hard year, and I'm Gene Hackman. I'm like, I know. And we just hug each other. And for a brief moment, we're not an ass or an elephant. We are just moms that had a hard year. And we hug it out. And then she whispers in my ear, by the way, I'm not vaxxed. And then I whisper in her ear, that's great, you believe in body autonomy. Because your husband's mistress is getting an abortion as we speak. And the moment will be over. So I guess I'm not surprised, actually, that is in it, yeah. Yes, Jamie.
I really enjoyed that bit.
Thank you very much. I could tell by how much you laughed at it. I will say, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like one thing that really does plague me is I feel like we're going to be the first generation that didn't do better than our parents. Like, or at least my particular situation. Jamie's doing great. Jason, also doing great.
I have had a good run.
Yeah, you've had a good run.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But I will say, but my husband and I had to go make our will. And I realized there was just so much more than I thought we had. Actually, I brought it here because I thought maybe it would give you guys some hope. Just to know, like, we do have something to offer. We do have something to give. So here's my will. Here we go. To my boys, Neil and James Murphy, I leave to you to be shared equally that box of Kirkland baby wipes that sat next to the nursing chair in James's room his entire childhood. I did not understand at the time how many 10,000 wipes is. Wipe yourself and think of me. I leave you a bag of 7,423 crayons commemorating every chain restaurant we ever went to. My only regret is that there would have been probably more for you to share, but a lot of the free crayons came from Don Cuco's and never made it home because I honestly never left there sober. I leave unto you the medical measuring cups from every bottle of medicine we ever bought for you boys and somehow failed to ever dispose of, but instead hand washed like the nut fox we were. I hope the future holds so much beauty for you, but I hope mostly it holds a lot of need to measure 5 ml. To whichever of you is gay, James, and looking at the ratio in your father's family, odds of at least one of you being gay are pretty high, James. I leave exclusively to you all of my nail polish, makeup, clothing, and jewelry. To be clear, I know that being gay, James, and transgender are not the same thing, but I do not want those items to go to your straight brother because they will end up in my daughter-in-law's possession, and honestly, I hate her. At the time I wrote this, my last will and testament, I haven't met her yet, but I'm sure she's a cunt not worthy of your brother's love. And if we're being honest, she's probably the reason I'm dead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Come join us. Come join us.
Do you have copies of that?
Yeah.
There'll be signed copies at the meet and greet later this evening, I believe, and she'll be hugging everybody and open mouth kissing everyone, I believe as well. Thank you, Kate. That was wonderful. It's weird. Is it weird to be out?
No, I mean, like, you want me to say yes, but like, we go out. What's weird is to be out without a mask on. I'm having like a little bit of panic right now. Anybody else having a little mask panic? No.
I can't. It doesn't feel that from your energy at all. You don't seem panicked at all. It seems.
I am sure.
There's no moistness.
Honestly,
Sure. No, the moistness is because you dumped a bottle of water on my ass. He's like, let's take a picture, and he's got his arm behind me, and he's going like this all over me.
That's not really my fault.
Well, it's not your fault, but this where it is.
Have fun tonight, Dickie. It's gonna be fantastic. I did see Dickie over there earlier. He was walking through Ashley Furniture, and he was getting a little al dente. So I think it's gonna be a big night for you. I feel like.
You know what's so funny? Christine backstage knew. She's like, "Is that firm Rio?" And I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "It is. I know their patterns." I was like, "Oh, Christine Lakin likes it." So I think I'm good.
I thought it was a sleeper couch, but I don't know what name brand you're talking about.
Listen, it's a sleeper hit is what it is.
I love it. Are you kidding me? I love it. It says show. It says showtime. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, and look at his Legos and Chill shirt.
Yeah, look at that.
Is that a thing? Legos and Chill?
It is now, yeah. That came from our fans from the show.
I know. It's super fun.
Every week we have, people say stuff and we go, "Oh, that's a T-shirt," and then we never do anything about it. So he made a T-shirt about it. I think it's fantastic. We're gonna get electrocuted because she watered the stage now. I think let's keep moving because I want to get everybody on stage so we can then fuck around. And we have a couple more guests who are super funny people. This next woman is she did our show a couple times and she's been super funny. You might know her as a child actor from Step by Step, but now she directs the Goldbergs and a lot of other shows. Please welcome Christine Lakin.
Very tiny in real life. Hi guys, thanks for having me. Hi everyone. This is exciting, being out, breathing each other's air, my exhalations. become your inhalations. Yeah, don't think about that too hard. That'll give you a panic attack. Sorry, Kate. Get in there. Yeah, there she goes. She's got her mask. It's weird though. I feel like we live in a time of disclaimers. Like my daughter has a cough right now. I swear to God, I did take her to the pediatrician yesterday. This is a true story. She does not have COVID. They said it's allergies. This is a real thing. But that's what we have to do all the time. Like one kid sneezes and everyone's like, Jesus, get that kid out of here, Put them in a bubble. It's like we used to cough to cover up farts. Now we're just farting to cover up coughs. So it's a weird world we live in. Like, what do we say? Are we in the middle of this? Are we in the end of this? Like, how many acts is this macabre play gonna go on? But the nice thing about it is that COVID has really given you the ultimate excuse for people who don't like to do shit. Yeah. I mean, literally, it's like, I'm so sorry, Michelle, I am not going to be able to make your fourth baby sprinkle. I may possibly have COVID. I had a sip of water yesterday. It may have gone down the wrong pipe. I coughed, but I'm not sure, and I think possibly, maybe, very probably, almost certainly it's COVID. Oh my God, please don't come. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really wanted to be there. No, I didn't. So I mean, that's the one good thing, about it all. It's kind of funny though, because like when I was a kid, it's changed completely. Now anyone has a sniffle, you've got the excuse to not do anything. When I was a kid, I could have whooping cough, scarlet fever, half my limbs are hanging off. My parents are like, you're fine, go to school, you're fine. But I was also, raised in the South, two boomers, so all of that tracks. I went back recently. I'm from Atlanta, and I was there 2 weeks ago for my 25th high school reunion. That's right.
And she's here. Your high school's here tonight, I think.
There they are. There they are.
Stand up. All right, there she is.
And it's weird, being old as fuck, but also realizing that, like, you live in a bubble like Los Angeles, and you think, 43-year-olds can wear crop tops. Like, anything goes, really. She's wearing a couch. We love it. I love it. I want the couch. I knew the brand.
I feel like crop top wears.
So, but then you go back to a place like Atlanta, and you forget that it's, like, conservative there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy a new outfit. I go to Zara, little Zara moment. I find this like two-piece thing. It's like it's got a collar, and it's and it's like black and white stripes and sort of like a tight skirt situation. So it's like corporate zebra on vacation. And then I added a chunky gold chain with it, so it was like corporate rapper zebra on vacation. And I get there and I open the door, and Stephanie Thomas, who's like the most popular girl in our high school back then, she's like, oh, whoa, LA. I was like, whoa, Talbot. But I've always been weird. I've always been a little bit of the outlier. I was a child actor, so that's a lovely stereotype I'll get to carry with me the rest of my life. But people are weird, they find out, oh God, you were a child actor. Oh, what must that have been like for you? Oh, it was all right. Did your parents steal all your money? No, my dad's a CEO. He made a lot more money I'll ever make in my life, but boomer. Did you, how many times have you been to rehab? None. I'm not a quitter. Were you molested on sets? We're in the middle of a Trader Joe's parking lot. Like, time and place, lady. Time and place, But no, I had a really nice childhood, and I think a lot of people tell me that I'm very normal, so that's a high compliment actually for as long as I've been doing this, which is like 30 plus years now, and I think it's because my mom really tried to keep me very grounded, like to the earth. She was always saying things to me like, trying to find other people I could look up to, people I'd have something in common with. So I'm like 15, and she says, Christine, what would Ron Howard do? What would Ron Howard do? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? What would Ron Howard do? But then it got into my head, you know, and I'm 15 and I'm like trying things for the first time and I'm like thinking about like smoking pot, you know, with the cast of California Dreams, and I'm like, fuck, what would Ron Howard do? Not that! You know, he's off like making Academy Awards, you know? It gives you perspective. I mean, a lot has changed in this business in 30 years, for the good, really. I mean, I feel like the last 5 years were a real reckoning. When a lot of men were like, oh, fuck, what have I done? I better go through back that catalog for like, you know, Jesus. Like when I complimented her on that corporate zebra dress, like, was that too much? No, that was probably fine, right? Yeah. When I brought her up to my office, we had drinks. Under the guise of me, you know, producing some show, but we never talked about it. That was fine, right? That's not misleading. It's totally normal, right?
That's totally normal.
When I tripped and my penis fell in her mouth. I mean, I trip. People trip. It's normal, right? It's normal. That didn't happen to me. But what I find really interesting is like, we know the score. Like, you know what I feel like it's very clear. We all know how we're supposed to act these days, right? There's a lot of places in life you can go be an asshole. You can be an asshole at a bar with your dumb friends, okay? You can be, you know, an asshole on the 405, most people are. You can even like be the ultimate asshole and be anonymous and just troll the internet. I mean, just troll the internet if you gotta get it out. The one place you cannot be an asshole anymore is your job. Like, that is the place that, like, it's actually illegal. So it's like, it's mind-blowing to me when I'm still hearing these, like, reports like, so-and-so was fired for misconduct. I'm like, how did you not fucking get the memo? Like, it's almost more insulting at this point that you're just dumb. You know? Like, I worked so hard to be where I am in this business. Like, how does that not even, you know, compute? I have 3 rules in life. Be kind, work hard, don't shove your genitals in people's faces. It's very easy. Like, it's like a real just cut and dry for me. You know?
But to be fair, Brian, 2 out of 3 aren't bad for you.
Well, now I see why you made us move the tables back.
We moved you 1 back, just to, you know.
1.
Yeah.
Protect us, yeah.
I try to be like a good mom. I've got 2 kids. They're 3 and 6. And I try to be a role model. I look at parenthood as sort of like one long CIA mission where the terrorists may not win. Okay? You've got to give enough to get them to trust you, work with you. But you must not ever give up too much where you lose your power. That is where it all goes wrong. And these kids are so smart now. They're inundated with all this stuff, you know, that comes from all these places. Like, back in the 80s, there was like one show on for children every 28 hours, and by the time the TV would warm up, it's over. So it's like, what's the point? But like now, you know, you have to be like on top of it. So my kids the other day, I'm making dinner, and I can't watch them every second, but I hear it. It's like what happened? She did this, and he did that, and I know these stories are half-baked. Nothing's really coming out. I know that someone's fucking lying. So I put on my CIA hat. You telling me the truth? Yes, Mommy. Okay. Because all I care about is the truth. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to check the cameras. And I just started doing shit on my phone. I just pull it out. I'm just doing shit. And I see her face go real wide, big eyes. And I'm like, are you sure before I look at this photo? Before I look back at the footage, the tape, there's nothing you want to tell him. She's like, I may have kicked him in the head. Do I have cameras all around the inside of my house? Hell no. Am I smarter than a 6-year-old? Fuck yeah. Because you know what? You gotta ask yourself, what would Ron Howard do?
Pull that one up. I have questions.
Yeah.
Here, everybody slide over. Bring her in. Did you get high with the cast of California Dreams?
I don't think it was California Dreams, but it might have been Boy Meets World.
And why did Patrick Duffy trip and put his dick in your mouth?
No, it wasn't Patrick Duffy. It was Screech. Everybody knows that. I did Saved by the Bell, the new class, and so I speak from experience. I wish that wasn't true.
What was your character?
I played a college guy, and I was actually 30 years old, and I played a college guy, and I had to hit on Sarah Lancaster and try to get a drug, and she was literally 14 years old. And it was an uncomfortable week. Let's just put it that way. Did you ever do that show? Saved by the Bell, the new class? Screech hit on everybody in the room, and he even hit on me, I believe, at the time. Yeah, didn't he? No, he
Isn't there that rumor that Screech was Mike D? Or like Screech's brother was Mike D?
I remember that rumor.
Yeah. It was true.
That.
No.
Was it Beastie Boys?
Yeah. What other Mike D do you know?
Great point. Honestly, that's a good point.
Mike D from the Beastie Boys, the guy that makes the bagels. Yeah.
There's a guy, Mike D. He works at a Pizza Hut in
Mike
New
D.
Hampshire. I knew.
Anybody have any other questions for Christine about the show? Yeah. I love that you went back to your high school reunion, but in high school, you were a child actor. So
I
what
was
was
not popular.
Really?
No.
as a child actor, you weren't
No.
popular?
It was way too niche. Way too niche.
The kids they knew who you were.
Yeah, I mean, I started that show in 7th grade, and then I was like going to a school in Atlanta where like none of that was normal, but I was like barely there. And then you miss all this. I mean, to a degree, I missed all the like drama of high school. I would just like come in and people would be like, "Oh, you're never here," and I'd be like, "I gotta go again," So but I wasn't popular, wasn't unpopular. I don't know. I was like somewhere in the middle. I was like theater.
You were above it all.
Yeah.
You were just wandering through, do I have the grades? Am I done with this bullshit? Excuse me, that's Patrick Duffy. Oh, hello, man from Atlantis. What's happening here?
Speaking of above it all, did you, that roller coaster at the beginning, did you actually get to ride it?
Okay, here's the thing. Like, everybody knows that show from the roller coaster. That's really what people remember, right? So I get this job. I'm 12 years old. I love roller coasters. TGIF. I was a huge fan. Like I peaked 100%. And the day after I get the job, we go to film the opening title sequence of Step by Step. Like, who does a pilot and shuts down Magic Mountain for 2 days, FYI? And I'm like, this is the greatest fucking day of my life. And we get there like, so we're gonna be having stunt doubles riding the roller coasters. Due to liability, so none of us could ride the roller coaster. So that's why I'm 12 years old in a bucket of balls. I literally have to I was in the balls. I'm 12 years old. My sister on the show was 15, and we're like throwing balls at each other. Like, what is it? It was like because they wouldn't let us ride the coaster.
Was there some hidden meaning with you and the balls, right, Ryan? You get it.
I try not.
I mean, it feels like it's subliminal, like, hey,
It's right there.
it's right in your face.
Be kind and
Yeah, be kind and
Thank
move
you.
out of the way. But then at the end, that's a parking lot, and they didn't want to show the parking lot, so they put this really crappy CGI, 1991 ocean that goes like this, Someone's like, where did you film that? Where was that? I'm like, it's Santa Clarita, where everything is filmed. Literally everything is filmed in Santa Clarita, guys.
It really is. I mean, to be fair, you kind of did Ron Howard it. You got into directing, which is pretty cool. You directed Goldbergs, which is one of the best comedies on television. It's such a funny show.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, I think my mom was just like subliminally like, don't go in a gutter, don't light your house on fire, don't get in a cult. I mean, a lot of us went to cults.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, that one what's that documentary? Nexium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smallville.
So,
She's the girl from Smallville, right? Well, you look at, like, I did do Saved by the Bell, the new class, and it was funny to see.
talking about that.
Not the main one. Listen, it's the new class. It was a big one. I did Shake It Up with Zendaya and Bella Thorne, but we won't talk about that. Austin and Ally with the other kids I did as well. But here's what I will tell you. There's a lot of kids. I've worked with a lot of children, and I'm amazed that any of them reach adulthood. So when I see people like yourself or, Natalie Portman, Ron Howard, whatever, people who kind of get through the business and come out the other side and don't Dana Plato it,
Sure.
I'm shocked.
No,
and it always comes down to the parents.
Yeah, it's a low percentage.
Because you just talked about how little you went to high school. How's your education? Obviously, you read some books on the side. Because...
I mean, this is the thing. My parents were always like, look, you want to go do all of this. I mean, they're not in the business. They're not creatives. They're like, my mom was like an accountant. My dad's a CEO. They were like, where the fuck did you come from? So they were always like, go do all the things and we support you 100%. But like, school is your job and your job is the fun. So if I wanted to do anything, I had to get like straight A's. So talk about like, what would Ron Howard do? Like it was literally my life.
So you straight up Mayberried it all the way through.
Oh yeah. I mean, those memorization skills come in handy at some point. If you can't use your memorization skills for like evil, like literally just studying straight the night before for a biology test, getting 100%, and then the next day you're like, I don't know. Nope. Like that was my special
Have
skill.
you great at memorization from early?
Great at memorization.
It's an amazing thing. Do you think you can see it? Is it a photographic memory?
Yes.
I know guys like Reed Scott's like that, where he reads it once and then he knows all your lines.
Farce, excuse,
Yeah.
yes. Like,
And the whole thing comes out flowing.
You
It's
think you could do this?
good skill.
Person, man, television. Oh, shit. So I'm going to get you person,
genius.
man, television. We actually had neighbors that put that sign up, and I was like, I'm going to go meet them.
Giraffe. Here we go. All right, let's get our next guy out here because he's awesome, and then we'll talk about some other parenting stuff. And John Champion can just sit there and laugh at our lives and all his glory, and think about his next trip to Europe. You dick. This guy I've known for a long time. He's a funny cat, and he's a great dad. And you might know him from the Ralph Report. He kind of co-hosts it with Ralph. He's part of the Garmy. And please welcome Mr. Eddie Pence.
Everybody. This is really weird.
It's oddly, but in a second or two, it's going to be super comfortable.
Yeah, it will be. No, I'll work with it.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It's not.
There's almost more people up here than there are out there.
That's what's weird. Yep.
Yeah, we can make
I'm just gonna move.
Some room for Eddie.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not a physical comedian. It's fine. Am I in recovery? Anyone in recovery here? Just one. Okay. Yeah, me too.
From what? From children?
No, vasectomy. Had a vasectomy. Yes. So, yes. Had one in July. Still ice in the boys. It's weird. Anyone here had a vasectomy? You too? Right there? Yeah, right there. They lie. They lie about how it feels. They really. You go in there and they cut the tube, right? And it feels like someone takes your balls and squeezes it like what's something you squeeze? Sponge. Like you squeeze a sponge, but nothing comes out except tears. So I get the vasectomy, right? And this is what he does. I'm done with it, and it's just very awkward and silent. And he hands me a cup, and he goes, "I'll see you again in 2 months." And I'm like, "Well, I don't ever want to see you ever again in my whole life. Why would I come back here and bring you something in a cup?" He's like, "No, we need a specimen to see if you're sterile." I'm like, "No, you cut the tube. I know how straws work." It's like, come out here instead of out here. I know how it works. And he's like, "No, we need like 25 to 30 emissions to see if you're sterile." 25 to 30 emissions? I'm 47. There's not going to be 25 to 30 more emissions. It takes a rubber band and a prayer to keep a boner. At this age. So I got the vasectomy. That's what the wife wanted. And we got home. And she's helped me ice up and all this shit. It's weird because we've been married for like 17 years. We've been married for a while. And I realize when you're married for a long time, you fight about different things. Like I suppose when you're first together, you fight about, big stuff. Like when you've been married for like 17 years, you've accepted the major flaws in both parties, right? Like she's accepted that I'm a grown man child that's got more toys than her 12-year-old, and this is as good as it's ever gonna get. She's accepted that, right? I've accepted she's a neurotic control freak that's never gonna happen no matter what I do. Like we've both accepted these major flaws in both parties, and we're together and we're happy. But it's the little shit you fight about. Like she made dinner the other night, and we ate, and she's like, "Oh, what'd you think?" I was like, "Oh, it's fine." Oh, yeah. You don't say fine to a woman, because women have a way different definition of the word fine than men do. Men actually believe in the Webster's Dictionary version of the word fine. Women don't. My wife, when she said, what do you think? And I said, fine, she heard, oh my God, you're fat, this tastes like dog shit. That's what she heard. That's not what I said. I said fine, which according to Webster, which I wrote down the definition, so all the ladies here know what the word means. Fine. Fine is, I had to do this because I can't read anymore. Superior in kind, quality, or appearance. Excellent. That's the Webster's definition. Fine, superior in kind, quality, or appearance.
Say that next time.
I can say fine. Like, here's an example. Like, say we're going on our anniversary to dinner and we go to fine dining. Fine dining's pretty fine, right? Fine dining's fine, right? That means expensive as shit, right? Fine dining? Fine dining works. Fine works, okay. Fine jewelry? Pretty fucking expensive jewelry, I would imagine. That was a fine dinner. That's all I meant. That's all I meant. You guys changed it on us. It's weird. Been a weird couple of years, right? Couple weird years. Not the pandemic. My kid's going through puberty. He's got pubes now. Yeah, I know that because he told me. He just came out and said, Dad, I got pubes. Like, I don't need to know that, man. You go back in your room and you learn about it yourself like I did. He's like, no, I got pubes. I'm like, fuck, okay, all right. So I got to try to be this dad that guides him through the worst time in all of our lives, puberty. And he's like, Dad, I got an erection last night. Actually asked me, he told me about his erection. I'm like, okay. Inside, I'm like, outside, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right, that's good. Yeah, you're supposed to get those. That's normal. That's a normal thing. Erections are normal. Inside, I'm just like, go away. So he goes, I think the conversation's over, so I'm just doing something else. He's like, Dad, well, when I had the erection and when I rolled over, it rubbed on my sheets, and it felt good. He asked me this question. It felt good. And I'm like, inside again, I'm like, go away. And outside, I'm like, no, it's supposed to feel good. We have a lot of nerve endings down there. There's a lot of blood. It's when we have sex, so it feels good. It helps propagate the species. That's why we're on this planet, is to have children to grow and populate the planet. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our purpose here. And I had a vasectomy, so I have no purpose anymore. I'm done as a person. My usefulness is done. Because of your mom. And it's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So he's like, and I see he's a smart kid. So anytime you talk to him, he overthinks everything, right? And I see he gets this idea in his head. He's like, Dad, they should have penis massage parlors. You're right. They should have penis. That's a great idea. I'm going to call the bank in the morning, get a small business loan. Yeah. Whitney Houston was right. The children are our future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. But I had to break the news to them that there actually are penis massage parlors. They're called massage parlors. The penis is silent. It's the most clever joke I've ever heard.
It's really
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's not totally silent.
The penis is.
It says something at the end of it.
As long as the masseuse is silent.
Right? Then you just hear. I would imagine. I don't know. Anyway, so me and my kid, we have this little tradition that we do every night when we're laying in bed. Most good parents sit there and read a book or something to their kid before they go to sleep. I watch The Simpsons on an iPad with him, and that's what we do every night. And this one particular night, he goes, we're watching The Simpsons, right? And Bart writes something different on the chalkboard every night, right? Every night, every episode. And this particular episode, he wrote, SpongeBob is not a contraceptive. I'm watching, I'm going, please don't ask. Please don't ask what that fucking means. Please don't ask. Pauses it. Dad, why is SpongeBob not a contraceptive? What does that mean? Oh, God, fuck, okay. Remember that conversation we had about your erections a couple days ago? Sex. Sometimes people don't want to have babies when they have sex. They just like having sex because it feels good, right? So we use these things called contraceptives. Men put this thing called a condom on the penis. Stops the semen from going into the female and creating a baby, right? He's like, oh, okay, and he got it. I'm inside going, fuck! Why are we doing this? Outside, I'm like, okay, good, you understand? Okay, good, I'm a good dad. So I think we're done. I hit play, he paused, right? He's like, no, Dad, why is SpongeBob not a contraceptive? I didn't answer his question, I just told him what a condom was. So I go, okay, look, a long time ago, there was this contraceptive for females that was called a sponge, where you put it up inside your vagina and it would sit there and catch semen as it's fired into him like a catcher's mitt. Because he's into baseball, so he got the analogy, right? It's all about teaching. It's all about teaching. So he got it. He clicked in his head. I'm like inside going, I'm the worst fucking parent of all time. And he's like, no, I got it, Dad, thanks. I'm like, okay, cool, all right. All right. Hit play, finish the episode, I leave, right? I hear him go, Dad! In the other room, like I come in like, what, dude? He's like, what if SpongeBob didn't take place under the sea, but inside a vagina? That's the greatest fan theory on SpongeBob I've ever heard. Of course it took place inside a vagina. What's the name of the fucking beach? Bikini Bottom. That's why Squidward hates. Squidward's an old sperm trying to find an egg. That's why he hates SpongeBob, because that's why they're battling, because he's stopping him from finding the egg. We all know what Krusty the Krab is. That's why you don't eat there.
Makes a lot of sense, man.
Too much fucking sense. I'll leave you with this tale of the pandemic. When the pandemic started, we started doing the homeschooling, right? Like all the your kids were, it's the first time I was around my kid all day long since he was like before preschool, right? So now I'm stuck with him all day long, 14 hours a day, trying to communicate with him, trying to help him learn on these Zoom calls, on these Zoom things, right? So I'm like, you know what? He's got any questions, I'm going to answer. Wife and I made that agreement, like, whatever he asks, just answer, make him feel comfortable. This is a big adjustment for him, right? First day of the pandemic, he goes, Dad, I got a question. I'm like, what, bud? What do you need to know that I can answer for you? Because I will do that. And he's like, what's my butthole look like? I have a boy. Buddy. What's my butthole look like? What? What's my butthole look like? Have you seen a button on a leather couch? I don't know. I should have a donut right now. That would be helpful. It would be nice. So I go, I got an idea, buddy, because they're curious about their bodies, right? Even at age 10, when he asked this question, they're curious. I go in the bathroom. There's a mirror in there. Lock the door. Take your time. This is not a house of judgment. He goes in there for like 2 minutes. Comes out just broken. So I can't see my butthole. I can't see my butthole. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? You know what? This is a mommy problem. You go find this. Mommy is an expert in buttholes. She married me. So he goes finding his mom, right? And the problem with children is they're not dead inside like we are, right? They're trying to figure shit out. They want to learn. Adults don't care. We just want to get through it. So when we get through tomorrow, hopefully next day Saturday, we can sleep in. Adults just want to get through shit. We don't want to learn. We just want to get through it. Kids want to know why and how and can I do it and how do you do it. They want to learn. So he comes up with an idea on how to do it. Before he finds his mom, comes running back to me. He's like, I got an idea, Dad. I'm like, what? He's like, take a picture of my butthole. No! No! For more reasons than you'll ever know, no! Take a picture. 45 minutes. Take a picture of my butthole, Daddy. Take a picture of my butthole. Minute 46, I snap. I'm like, fuck it, bend over. So he's bent over, towel dropped. I have my phone out. I'm ready to take a picture of my son's butthole. And my whole life flashes before me. I'm thinking back when I was a kid, going, you know what, I can't wait to be a dad someday. Take my son out in the backyard, throw the ball around, do some real father-son stuff. Maybe I'll go to his graduation. It'll be valedictorian, I'll be there saying, that's my son up there, that's my boy, a super smart kid. Really well-adjusted young man up there, really bright future ahead of him because nothing weird happened between me and him when he was younger. It would send him down the path of drugs and alcohol. Take a picture of his butthole. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is what makes children amazing and adults terrible. It's what we lose as we grow up. Because kids and adults deal with the world very differently. Kid will be running down the street, fall, skin their knee, cry in that moment. Deal with what life just fed to it. 2 minutes later, climb a tree. Because kids deal with stuff as it comes at them. They deal with life, right? Not an adult. Dalton will wake up at 2 a.m. to go take a leak, catch his big toe on the bedpost, go, okay, all right, yeah, we're gonna take that pain and anger, shove it way down in there, and it'll come out later in traffic. Adults don't deal with shit. So I take a picture right of his bottom. He turns around, right, like it's Christmas morning. I show it to him. I did landscape too because I'm an artist. I show it to him, right? And this is what he does. Perfect child response. Okay, and he leaves. Done with it. Done with it. Knows what his butthole looks like now. Done with it. I am forever changed. I can't go back. I am butthole picture guy now for the rest of my life. Forever. It's in my phone. It's in my head. It's in the cloud. I can't get out of the fucking cloud. After my TV sits so too long, it just pops up on my TV. Made Super Bowl Sunday really awkward. Just sitting there with the guys, eating, hanging out, all of a sudden, what is that? Nothing. Hit the button, it'll go away. No, what is it? Hit the button. What is that? It's an aerial shot of a volcano. Hit the button, it'll go away. You guys have been very fun.
Grab a chair. I'm going to talk about vasectomies.
Oh, good.
This is why I had, I love watching Eddie's act because it reminds me how happy I am that I had girls. Every time there's any issues like turning red, I didn't know it because I didn't see it. But my kids watched it like 50 times over the weekend. Does everyone know what turning red is about?
Yeah.
It's the is it a panda?
It's a red panda.
It's a red panda. She turns into a red panda. She's like 12 or 13 years old. She's getting her period. My daughter's watched it 13 times over the weekend. I had no idea. Somebody goes, you know what that's about? I go, no, I have no clue. And then so my wife had to talk to Hannah, the third grader. She was like, she asked her about it. And I said, talk to that woman over there. I don't know anything about it. I know she told me when we were dating, she only had it for like 48 hours a month. But apparently I was wrong. She has it for like 3.5 weeks every month. So I don't. Yeah, they're fucking liars. They're all liars.
They have the week leading up to, then the week of, and then the week after.
Yeah.
And then you have that one week in there where it's sort of spring break.
My son, at 6 years old, after watching that movie, came in very distraught, and he looks at me, he's like, Dad, I just need you to know, I just got my period. And I'm really cranky. And I was like, oh Jesus, he and his mother are synced. So I'm like, oh, what am I gonna tell him? I'm like, Melissa! And she comes down and she's like, oh no, you're gonna deal with this one. So we went to YouTube. There's not a lot of resources there, unfortunately. But Pornhub was very helpful.
Well, yeah, Pornhub's helpful. I guess. It's so weird because I grew up, my father never even showed me how to shave. Like, we never had a conversation once about, like, I mean, let me ask you, when your son's like, Dad, I'm getting erections all the time, were you a little jealous? I mean, was that like, oh my God, I kind of remember those days.
Full erection.
Yeah, not just al dente, it's not a little.
That's not a stack of dimes like pop.
Yeah. And it does, I mean, it's all of a sudden, then you start to understand why you can buy really expensive silky sheets. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a kid.
I really want to go back to when you guys were just talking about periods. That was great for us.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys? Yeah, it was good.
I know it's.
I can project. We're good.
I mean, there's 3 women in my house. I don't, no, I don't.
Well, your day of reckoning is
yeah,
coming.
my day of reckoning is coming.
Your day of reckoning
The
is
karma
coming.
police have shown up. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask about parenting, or any things that they heard?
What's our advice?
No, there won't be any advice, but we can fix.
We're not the people to ask.
I have not got a vasectomy yet, and every time we get a little frisky, in the back of my head, I'm like, fuck, I should have done this.
Is she on anything? Or is she like the IUD or pill, or you wear condoms, or you just pull and pray? Don't pull and pray!
You are.
I mean, it's.
Don't do that!
I mean, in his defense, he's 57. How fast is it going?
The swimmers are synchronized, that's me.
It's like riding mules down to the Grand Canyon.
I really need to take care of that. Don't you have stuff in your life where every time it comes up, it's not just this, like something in the house, like there's a door handle where you're like, I should fix this. And
And then you know.
I'm on a cautionary tale, you though,
Terrible analogy.
because you know what happened with me with that,
What?
with my vasectomy.
Oh, that's honestly, that's why I haven't done it really lately. Because you told your horror story.
So my doctor kept saying, the surgeon kept saying, there's only a 1% chance that anything will go wrong. And I'm like, there was a 1% chance that I could have had twins, and yet here we are. And they're the reason this is happening. And so partway through, I heard there was a smell, and yeah. I'm like,
I know the smell.
is somebody burning leaves? I don't know. What does that smell? I don't. And the numbing was supposed to be much more effective than it actually was. I'm like, oh. And I'm hearing, and I'm like, oh, this is not good at all.
Did they find both your Vas deferens?
Oh no, it was like
Yeah,
a Where's
one's
Waldo?
always-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a Where's Waldo. He couldn't find
They're
it.
crochet needle, and they're just in there just trying to.
So
I'd almost rather have another kid.
I get done, and I'm healing. I'm sitting on the peas, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right. It's the next day, and I looked down. I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure that my penis was bigger than 13 centimeters. So I call my wife in, and she takes one look at me and goes, oh, that's not okay at all. And I basically looked like a Cabbage Patch doll, like it was just this inflate. I basically, in Willy Wonka when Violet turns into the blueberry, it was like that, and I was like, she said you need to go to the ER right away. I went into emergency surgery, and I basically went to the juicing room and I doesn't it? Just a smoothie that yeah. So there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Christine, I have this funny story about that one time. We put shoulders through our vaginas.
Yeah, remember that? Remember that?
Remember that? When a whole set of shoulders cleared our pussy.
Are you smelling burning leaves?
Oh, that's so nice! Oh, that's so nice!
Do not vasectomy shame us. This is our journey. Do not vasectomy shame us.
Literally the end of every argument.
Yeah,
you said you were supposed to take out the trash. I fucking gave birth! That's the end of every... And you go, whatever, I'll take the trash out.
I'm really glad my husband's not here though, because we had this conversation 2 days ago. I was like, dude, we cannot have another kid. I can't go back there. I'm 43. Like, no. Kate actually said, oh God, you're so much smaller than I thought you were. I've only ever seen you sitting down. You had 2 children and they came out of you? Yes, they did. I can't do that again. My stomach will look legit like an elephant. I mean, just the skin alone. It's not good. But he said he'd do it, but after tonight, no.
I need to do it.
There's some pain involved.
We should film it. I'll do it.
I filmed
Film
mine.
it.
Did you film
I filmed mine.
it? I mean, you
I
showed a kid
didn't film it.
butthole.
No, I didn't.
It's just on my face. I have a video of me.
Oh, you mean it's not of your, it's not down
no,
there?
no. But you can hear them. They're just having a conversation, and at one point they walk over to a drawer, and it feels like they're just going through the silverware for like 5 minutes, and I'm just laying there.
That reminds me of that time that a baby was breaking my back and my husband got a coffee. That's what that reminds me of. Oh.
We just want to go ahead and apologize to Dickie now.
We're sorry.
We're so sorry.
Happy anniversary.
Also, Dickie, they are joking about it hurting. It doesn't hurt at all. So.
Does Dickie have a vasectomy?
No, I've got an IUD.
Oh.
I got that T, baby. I got that. Don't come down these parts no more.
They're still using those things,
Yeah.
Has anyone ever used a sponge? I've never. That was the big Elaine thing, right?
Yeah.
Seinfeld, is he sponge-worthy? And I didn't know, but yeah, it was just a sponge and there was
Like, does my mouth count as a sponge?
Wow.
You guys, my husband's here. That's horrible. Why would you laugh at that? Do my tonsils count?
Oh, Mulligan. IUDs. Oh, what was the what's the other one? The diaphragm.
Diaphragm. That was like a cup, right? Like
Yeah.
Like a retainer for the. Yeah, it was like a retainer.
It
Yeah.
was like a
We're probably the
retainer.
wrong 3 people to be talking about.
No, we have no idea.
I think we're the exact right people. Sorry. I mean, do you remember the days when all of a sudden you're wearing a condom and you're like, all of a sudden out of nowhere you're like, wait, this feels really good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your wares, no, it didn't break, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then there's a treasure hunt. Have you ever had? Nobody else that's ever happened to? Thank you. Since we just talked about his children's butthole. when she's like, where's the condom? And you're like, where was it? I don't know. And all of a sudden you're like, pull it on, I feel like. And then you're like, all of a sudden you're just going, she's like, all of a sudden you're
Looking at the floor.
it's not there. She hid it.
It's somewhere in Bikini Bottom, yeah.
That's when you become a surgeon.
Yeah.
I'll look.
And then you lose your watch, and it's all you know what I'm talking about. Come on, people, kids, sex.
I gotta tell you, Jamie, there is some part of me that wants so badly for your wife to get pregnant again, because you will be so mad. You're gonna be so mad about it. You are already the biggest curmudgeon in my life, and like the thought of her being like, we're having another, Jamie, let's just see.
Jamie thinks about it and goes, why not?
Okay, so Jamie, I just want to tell you, okay, I'm
My wife
Kate.
would be livid, by the way.
Okay, I'm your wife, Kate, okay?
Yes.
So remember 4 weeks ago when I finally let you into me?
I know. It had been so long, I didn't
Yeah.
in 15 seconds.
Yes.
I remember it well.
Oh, well, those 15 seconds I'd like to forget, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to forget them because, Jamie, we're having another kid.
That's awesome. We have beautiful children, and I can't wait. And I'm gonna. Here's
So full of shit.
part of me is like, I don't. You're all like, no, and listen, I would.
Have another one.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. I'll be fucking dead. Her second husband's gonna have to raise that child. It's not gonna be it's gonna be a problem for me for like a year or two. I'm like, all right. It's almost, we talked about this the other night. Having kids at my age is like when they introduce characters with 10 minutes left in the movie. You're watching a movie and all of a sudden some new character comes in and you're like, I felt like this movie was over. What's this fucking guy doing? I don't care anything about this dude. That's how it would be. It's like, I feel like my life, I'm in this deep into the second act of the musical. We got like a song or two left. We're gonna do a reprisal. Then we're all gonna go to the fucking next door and have a drink, and that's the end of the show. Don't you feel like it's?
Glass half full, and you get the AARP discount on the Chuck E. Cheese birthday party.
You're out of business.
I am already. I'm always like, what's your discount? I ask them all the time. A lot of golf courses, 55, just in case you're wondering. Discount rate. I don't. Yeah. Who gives a shit? Life's short. It'd be great. I mean, part of me would be great, but part of me is like, that would be. I mean, I feel bad for her. I would feel really bad.
It's like Walter Matthau giving birth at this stage. Like, I wouldn't. To watch it would be fantastic.
Well, Walter Matthau's not giving birth.
No, but he has to deal with it.
Does he? He's Walter Matthau. I don't think he dealt with a lot of shit. Did you see the Bad News Bears? I think he's having another beer.
Who's the other odd couple guy? Tony, what was his name?
Jack
Lemmon.
Oh, Jack Lemmon. No, wait,
Tony Randall.
He had a kid at like 70-something or 80-something, right?
Which was insane, considering he obviously very gay. I don't. He did father a child, Tony Randall, right?
Yeah, like
That's
an
like
80.
saying Paul Lynde has a kid. Too far? Did I just get canceled out?
Circle gets the squirrel.
That's a great fucking Paul Goebbels in the front audience. All right, so I'm guessing I'm getting a vasectomy over the next month or two.
I'll fly back out. We'll film it.
Well, that was a running joke I had where I was like, back in the day when we first had the two kids, my wife at one point was like, we should have a third. And I was like, well, I guess I got to go get a super secret vasectomy.
My urologist made me take a sheet of paper home and have my wife sign it.
They probably do, right?
They did,
Yeah.
Because if your wife wants to have a kid, you go get a super secret one, and then you come home one day, like from golfing with a hitch in your step. She's like,
she had to sign a release form.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, actually, the Supreme Court just said you can't get a vasectomy anymore, so that's good. I just like to end this show on a real, Have a great night.
I also, when you were taking a picture of your son's butthole, I
The
wondered.
story is true up to the question he asked, and then everything else is comedy.
Oh, you totally took a picture of the
I
butthole,
did.
of course.
I did.
But here's what I thought you should have done at that point is like, instead of taking a picture as you're like, okay, I'm taking a picture, I would have been downloading a overhead shot of a sinkhole from Florida. And then when he goes, what's it look like? I go, it looks like that. And he goes, holy shit, my ass is wide open.
That's why you don't want to look.
And there looks like a dude in a house in there. What's happening in my ass?
You couldn't have just zoomed in on like a balloon knot? You're just like,
A cinnamon ring? You couldn't just take
I should have, in retrospect.
also, what kind of filter did you use?
Sepia.
Did you guys get sex talks when you were younger, Christine?
No.
Which, as an actress in Hollywood, you should have been given it at like the age of 6. All right, here, stay away from exec producers and other people.
Again, living in the South, boomers. They literally like threw me a book and they were like, yeah, tell me if you have any questions. But
You got a book?
Don't tell
I
me.
got a book. I got a book with pictures.
Yeah, book.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think mine had pictures.
Oh, mine was like just cartoon drawings. It was like, when a man and a woman love each other very much, her funny looking furry patch, and his funny looking furry patch, touch.
It's called Bumpin' Uglies.
Bump and uglies.
Sure, scoot and gravel, in and out.
Yeah.
That's a technical term?
Yeah, this is technical term.
Who drew the pictures, like Charles Schultz?
Yeah. And actually, that was a funny thing, is that one of the guy's pubes was just like one hair, just like Charlie Brown.
Can we go back for 1 second? Did anyone else hear that Christine's book didn't have pictures?
No pictures.
Here's a sex book. Here, read this.
Actually, no.
How did it read?
I feel like it was probably just an actual high school anatomy book that she gave you.
Yes, probably. And I mean, the funny thing, in like 3rd grade, we had an encyclopedia set. The S section of the encyclopedia was checked out more than anything. Nobody was getting any information. But that encyclopedia, that little like, between like, Seacrest and sex, and then it was something else, and then everyone was like dog-eared that page. Because clearly nobody was getting any information about anything. I'm very good about I do all the technical terms. I say all the real anatomy, all of the stuff, but then it becomes like, Mommy, in public, my vagina is feeling,
Yeah.
just very loud.
We're terrible. We don't do that. I'm so bad.
What is it that you use? Because you don't use the terms, right?
Listen, it's a wife. My wife doesn't use them either. And we're too like
You
repressed.
could start today.
I could. You know when that's like.
So this is actually an intervention for Jamie.
The problem with that is that you're too pot committed at that point. It's the same thing as like if you don't I don't know the other parent's name from the last 4 years of school to then walk up and go, hey, look, I don't know your name. What's your name?
Yeah.
You can't. It's too late. The horse has left the barn to go like, oh, P.S. That's your vajayjay.
What do you guys call him?
I couldn't even say it just
That's
then.
not
I started it and my brain was like, don't say that word! Vajayjay.
What do you guys call him?
Yeah, what do you call it?
Private parts.
Oh.
And your
We're
privates.
just gonna watch that movie, Private Parts.
We started with pee-pee bug with the oldest, and then we taught him the proper terminology, which he then proved he learned in the middle of a Michael's, when he's just screaming, penis! Penis! And all these moms are just looking at me like, why is your
Didn't he
son?
also pants you in the grocery store?
Yes. So it was one of those days where, do you ever look in your kid's eyes and know that you're fucked? Just fucked in every way. And I had come home from work and my wife said, take the child, get him out of the fucking house, and I need these groceries. Get it done. And I'm like, oh, some serious shit went down here. And I look at him and he's like, he does this thing where he does like this dance, like there's a Michael Jackson song in his head that only he can hear, and he's like, and we get into Walmart, and I hate going to Walmart and Target because toys also live there. And we got in, and he looked at me, and he said, can we go to the toy aisle? And I said, oh, fuck. Let's just get the groceries, we'll talk about it at the end. And he did not like my answer, and so he's ramping up his Michael Jackson, and I get to the cucumbers, and I'm picking out what my wife told me to get, and And the little asshole gets right behind me and grabs the back of my pants and went whoop right to the floor. The problem with this, and because I thought that was a great prank, is that he also grabbed my underpants. So there I am in all of my glory, hanging out over the cucumbers, which by comparison isn't doing me any favors. Because I don't know if you noticed, it's chilly in the produce section. And at this point, this little old woman has decided, the best time to come up and start a conversation when the guy's standing pantsless in the produce section. So she hobbles up in her walker. And she's like, oh, you look like you have your hands full. The irony of what she said is not lost on me because I have anything but a handful. It's maybe a tweezer full. So yes, I did get pants in a Walmart.
It would have been really funny if it was right after your vasectomy and they were like, look, giant purple balls.
I also love that you waited long enough to pull your pants up that someone had time to hobble. Clearly you're just like, oh, what could I possibly do? Oh boy, I guess my kid pulled my pants. Oh, look, a lady's coming now. Like, why not get that back? This could have been a 1-second proposition.
Dickie, is this what she's like every day? Just breaks down everything you say.
Go ahead, answer that, Dickie.
No.
Good boy.
Also, I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. None of your goddamn business.
I think we really have to kind of wrap it up. Did you? We got the. Oh wait, there was definitely a line. I'm looking at the clock, but yeah. This was super fun, and thank you guys for coming out. This is our very first really live parenting. We did it because he came from the East Coast, and we wanted to do a little live get together. I know my kid's socks that they gave to me. I can't wait to have another child. She's gonna be. I hope it's another girl. It's just gonna be so beautiful. What happens now? Like it's gonna be insane. I don't even know if I'll be able to get hard again thinking about having a kid.
I would love if it was a boy and then he goes around and he's like, I've got a dingle hopper. Because that's 100% what you would tell him to call it.
You mean as John Thomas?
Yeah, of course.
What's the names? What's your name you use for your dingling?
I just call him Pedro.
Eddie, what do you guys call?
He's anonymous.
He's anonymous.
Anonymous.
Just anonymous.
I've taught my child. We did this when he was born. We gave him not when he was born, but when he was old enough to have conversations, was curious about it. We told him all the different variations of whatever that is called. So he's familiar with it.
Purple helmeted soldier.
Purple cock, dick, schlong. I gave him all of it.
You know what word's fallen away? Dink.
Dink?
Remember dink?
Dink, yeah.
When I was a kid, it was a dink.
Double income, no kids.
Does nobody remember the name Dink?
That's not an attractive name.
No. Well, my mother used to say, "Do you have to tinkle?" That's probably why I became a comic. My mother used to say, did anyone else's mother ever say that?
Tinkle. We had tinkle.
We had tinkle. Do you have tinkle?
Tinkle.
Tinkle. My mother said you have to tinkle for pee-pee.
We say, do you have to empty your urethra? And they say, nay, mother. It is my colon that I must empty through my rectum.
You evacuate your colon.
Yes.
You empty your urethra. All right, on that note, hey, guys, thank you so much. Big hand for Eddie Pence, Christine Lakin, Kate Mulligan, Jason Gowin, I'm Jamie Kaler. I have to say, I always say I'll check for that. Oh, and thank you guys so much for coming out. We really appreciate it. And that's it. Let's grab a drink after or something if everyone